Alright, so we're playing this Mardu stuff. We've got some efficient interaction in Thoughtseize and Lightning Axe. Collective Brutality to a degree as well. One thing that's going to be interesting to see is we don't have a ton of actual removal in this deck, so if we're not able to kind of get our combo going quickly, it could be easy for people to get under us that are playing to the board. Anyways, just take my money and put it towards the stuff that makes you happy. Thank you, Average Bloom. I'm going to slide those into Naya Landfall, because that deck is currently in the queue. I know that's one of your favorites. Thanks for the support as always. Did I tweet? I don't remember if I tweeted. Chat, there's just too many things. I don't remember if I tweeted. Did I twote? I didn't twote. Let's do where's the twoter button? Where's the button to twote? I need to tweet and twote all over the place, chat. Want a die roll? That's a good start. Average Bloom. That's the exact deck I'd love to say. You truly are the senpai. I got you. I got you. I remember. Got a pretty okay memory. Alright, we've got some spirit guides. This is definitely a keep. How do we feel about turn? Is turn 1 Tormenting Voice too aggro? What do we feel about, what is the aggro level of turn 1 Tormenting Voice? Is that too... I think we're supposed to turn one voice. I'll donate $1 if you do that. Makes the decision so much easier. You're mistaken. This is a combo deck, not an aggro deck. To what goal? Well, if I hit, oh no! They get to take my Emrakul and shuffle our graveyard, chat! Oh, chat. Oh, we deserve this. I deserve every moment of this. Alright. Whelp. Waste not. Alright. Squee, Goblin, Nabob. Probably gonna be pretty good against Waste Not. Oh no! Faithless Looting is so bad against Waste Not. Oh no! Our whole deck is based around discarding. Oh no! This is so bad for us. This is so bad for us. How do we ever win? I feel like we've just been thoroughly and utterly out-memed on this Meme Monday. I feel like Rollins with coming through with the $1. I got you. Thank you for the support. I'm just gonna, it's fine. We'll play all 5 matches. We'll just skip over that one. Sometimes they have your number, chat. Sometimes the matchup variance is extreme, and that's okay. That's just how Modern goes. You just gotta, in the words of quite possibly the greatest poet of our generation, you just have to shake it off and move along with whatever else you have going on. When you get a match like this, chat, you just like have to realize that you weren't unlucky and got a bad matchup. You were gifted a lunch break. That's what happened. You were given an entire hour to go get lunch. What are we trying to do in order to win? We're trying to Goryos Vengeance, Emrakul into play, or quite possibly Obzedat. I do think it's weird that we only have one Nahiri in the main deck. She lets us filter through the Emrakuls pretty efficiently, and she can be an alternate win condition, which is nice. Excuse me. We've not played Traxosurcer. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, the decks that are still listed in the stream title are decks that we have yet to play today. So at the start of the day, every deck I'm planning to play is listed in the stream title, and then we kind of work through them and get rid of them listed in the stream title as we play. What's going on, Rosen? For my normal viewers, it's going to be a later stream today. I did not get a chance to stream this morning, so I'm going to be running into the evening tonight. I'm planning to stream Magic for another 4.5 hours or so, and then I'm going to wrap up tonight with a little bit of Overwatch. So I'm like, this is a little bit of awkward anti-synergy in this deck. Next turn, I'm going to Faithless Looting, bin the Emrakul and the Squee probably, but then I'm going to shuffle the Squee back into my deck with the Emrakul trigger. That being said, like, if they put in a Shockland here, they're going to die, so that doesn't really matter, I suppose. Can we play Overwatch with you? I think we're gonna play together with some of my subscribers. So if you're in the subs Discord and you want to play some Overwatch tonight when we play, you should ping me. Any words of wisdom? Be prepared. I mean, they're not guaranteed done if we Emrakul them. Whoop, let's play our land first and not mess this up. I'm actually going to bin the axe here so I don't lose my Squee. Because Squee Nahiri is just sick value. The Weeb Army, why don't you ping Christy on Discord and tell her to create an Overwatch channel? We had one once upon a time, and then we stopped playing. And I think we're probably going to be playing enough that it's probably worth having again. Isn't it adorable that they're still trying? Isn't it totes adorbs, chat? Computer or console? PC Gaming Master Race. PC Gaming Master Race. Name up, you should reread the thing, because that's not what the deck is called. Details on linking up to the Discord are here. What am I trimming? It's probably not a Bloodghast matchup. It's probably not a deck I'm grinding out. It's probably one I'm just like mostly going all in and killing. This is your first and only warning. We don't use the word retarded as an insult or derogatory term on this channel. Please don't do it again. I've been sitting for like an hour and a half. Let's stand up for the rest of this meme at least. Oh. Oh, my legs are sore, chat. Temple of Malice looking a lot worse than Blackcleave Cliffs here as we top a card with it. Hefechen with the brand new Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. Gross. I guess I just Tormenting Voice and lose my Squee here. Do I just bin the Goryo? Yeah, I guess I just bin the Goryo, huh? Looking for Anger, Damnation, Light Lava X here. Well. Things are not looking good for our hero, chat. I suppose we can rip a Nahiri next turn, and Nahiri can exile this Scavenging Ooze, which would be good for us. I have my Google survey money for Bant friends. Thank you, Creator Aura. You can turn Google survey money into bits on the app now. Thank you for the support. I think I'm going to start on Tormenting Voice, Bin Looting. Okay, that's a Nahiri. Can eventually be good. So this is going to fetch a Sacred Foundry. This is going to fetch basic planes, play Nahiri. And then next turn after Nahiri kills the Squees, we can play Obzedat. Although maybe I play Ghost Dad first. Evening Waterfalls. So I'm taking 4 here. Yeah, I think I like Ghost Dad first as well. That's a lot of graveyard hate. Ghost Dad's like really tough for them to raise, right? Is Dad going to work? Do I wanna blink Dad out? Yeah, I probably want to blink Dad out, right? Because he either blocks or he blinks, and then like when he blinks, he comes back in and does more anyways. That seems fine. They have Path in their deck still. I guess they don't really know what we're doing. They could maybe assume we have Gristlebrand. So we're taking 6 here down to 7. I get to Nahiri, eat the Scavenging Ooze, and then I can Looting, bin 2 Squeeze, which is nice. Alright, looks like we're dead. Skill check. No, they pathed Obzedat. I know it was quick there, but they pathed Obzedat. Obzedat did not exile himself. He went, he became a farmer. He was sent to exile, but not in the way. But not in the way you want. It seems reasonable. We've got a Collective Brutality for killing whatever their first disruptive threat is. Then we have a Damnation to clean up after that. Looking for some action here. I think we're actually in the market to keep that, right? Because like I have this Faithless Looting already set up. Ghost Dad went out for some smokes and never came back. Oh, Ghost Dad. So, we're going to do this. If they don't play Squeeze with the green up next turn, we'll probably go Plains, Faithless Looting to try and just cheese them. And then if we miss, we can still Collective Brutality. If they do play a disruptive creature of some sort here, we could potentially just go tapped land Brutality. So, do you have a green source? They do. I think I actually just like Blood Crypt pass here. I think I'm just going to set up to Damnation on 4. I could like Brutality, kill the Scavenging Ooze, but I think I'd rather do this, especially since I like have the Collective Brutality to kill a Selfless Spirit if they play one of those out this turn. We're gonna get in a little bit of trouble if they're playing the Bant variation and they have a Spell Queller this turn, I suppose. Although I guess if they hold Spell Queller here, do I just Collective Brutality to kill the Squeeze? Yeah, I think that's the line. I think the line is Brutality, kill the Squeeze. Because the way this works is, if they have Spell Queller here, I can still Damnation and then, like, use the Duress mode on Collective Brutality after the fact. They fetch Shock. This is a Collective Company? Spell Queller. Oh, they still just want to, like, hold up green just in case. That makes sense, I suppose. Alright, if they have an answer for this Damnation as well, we could be in a lot of trouble. What is our record? We are in game 3 of our second match. We conceded the first match to a Waste Not deck. I don't know. I like Temple in a more dedicated combo shell, but in this combo shell that's like kind of has a mid-rangey backup plan, I feel like Temple feels pretty bad. How did we do with Blue-White Fog? We beat 8-Rack and we died to everything else. Yeah, definitely 7 crosses. I think we're going to put up, if it's not already there, there's going to be we're going to make an Overwatch channel on Discord. For people interested in playing. Probably start about 4.5 hours from now or so with Overwatch. Well, there's a channel now? Sweet. I guess I start with Nahiri downtick. I guess I just go like Nahiri eat the Squees. They have another counterspell here, we're probably dead. Yeah. Maybe I should have played the planes out so I could Faithless Looting pre-combat. I've had a pretty ideal curve here. Mana creature into Squeeze, leave it up into Queller, into Negate into Queller. Because if I eat the Queller... Oh yeah, I guess I'd be exiling the Queller, right? So that is better. Alright, we've got one more Damnation and an Anger in our deck. Assuming they have no more Disruption, which is not a guarantee. Oh, that's all she wrote. Your tight plays, even with the worst decks, make your stream really enjoyable. Yep. Well, I mean, like, that's like, Modern is a format that allows that to be enjoyable as well, right? Like, Modern's a format where, you know, the 20th best deck isn't that different in power level to, like, the 5th best deck, right? If we discard the Emrakul, they just eat it with Scavenging Ooze. So, we didn't have any outs there. To set the bar low, Spell Queller is generally better than Kitchen Figs. As someone who spent a lot of time focusing on just competitive Magic while making content, there's definitely... Content is more successful when it's more focused towards the casual direction. First, seems pretty reasonable if it had a red source. All right, turn 2 Sarkhan, turn 3 Floop Emmerpig. Okay, love the content, keep it up. The Basic Potato, thank you for the 3-month resubscription there. I appreciate it. Thoughts on Life for the Loam for a card advantage ending? Something else you think is promising? So the problem with adding Life from the Loam or anything graveyard based to JAC, in my opinion, is one of the real advantages JAC has over a deck like Storm is that it's not heavily reliant on the graveyard, and a lot of people already incorrectly bring in graveyard hate against you because of Fate Stitcher. So I think it's pretty bad to add more graveyard dependency to that archetype because it just plays into what people are already doing anyways. Alright, don't need this Lightning Axe against the opponent's deck. Grab this. Worse against control compared to the previous version. No idea. It's probably pretty similar. You have less creature lands, but you also have less lands overall. I really want to thank you for keeping the content positive and not allowing bad mouthing of other producers. It's frustrating when they start. Yeah, it's just not necessary. Like, I don't understand why some people think I want to listen to them, like, come in here and, like, talk bad about other people. So, is it worth it to put them to 2 and get rid of 3 lands here? Probably. Yep, always be able to catch up on the YouTubes. Temple of Malice. Let's start with this and get a little bit more information before I decide what I want to do this turn. Oh, I guess I'm going to shuffle here, so this was bad. So Sarkhan's using this deck for this point right here, I would assume. So we're going to discard this Emrakul, and then in response to the trigger, floop our little piggy right back into play. Oh, that's Brew Spy MTG is the bowtie dude. He's good people. He hasn't been streaming as much anymore, I don't think, because he started a new job, someone said. But when he is on, he's got good stuff. These waters need more Jund. Love the content, Jeff. Detroit Lion. Thank you for the 3 months, and welcome back. Get those 3 Stone Rain. Does that count as a triple Stone Rain if they conceded there? I'm unsure what the line is on that. All right, so I think I want just the fact that like there aren't Nahiris in our main deck of this deck feels weird to me. This seems like a pretty easy trim. Bring in Nahiris and Obzedat, cut Bloodghast and Lightning Axe. It seems pretty good. This is a turn 3 Emrakul attack them, right? If we hit a little fair and balanced Simian Spirit Guide, we could even turn to it. Spending time with Bruce By at SCGCon confirmed that his personality is exactly the same as what he streams. Believe it or not, and this is gonna come as a shock to some people, I am not always this loud. I might work to keep my energy higher while producing content than off stream. Maybe a hair. All right, they had no turn 1 ramp. Our hand's actually very good against them, right? Like we have turn 2 tapped land, Thoughtseize. Had to watch an ad, but here's the land D bits. Thank you, extras. I gotta imagine this matchup's probably okay for us. I suppose one thing that's interesting about this build, or maybe bad is a better word, this deck doesn't really have a great backup plan for playing through Graveyard Hate. Whereas like traditional like Goryos, you know, the Grishol brand deck has the very real backup plan of being able to just like through the breach to kill people through Graveyard Hate. This deck doesn't really have that. I guess Nahiri is kind of a backup plan, but like the original list we were sent didn't even have 3 Nahiris, and it only had 2. Other than MTG and Overwatch, what other games do I play? Mostly board games, Boxboy. At Gen Con this year, they picked up, there's a new Warhammer card game that I've been playing a bunch of, because they have a tablet version that's in closed beta right now, and I got into that, so I've been enjoying the closed beta for that game a lot. But I am old and slow and don't really get into a lot of first-person games anymore. Any suggestions for good 10+ board games? Do you mean ages 10+? Is that what you mean by 10+? We actually, and again, like this is super awkward. I have these Emrakuls, but I don't want to discard them because it's going to shuffle away my graveyard synergy stuff. Menu Masters, actually, I think is a great... That was my favorite thing that I demoed at Gen Con this year in terms of board games, and I think it's a great gateway game to get both kids and people who aren't, like, gamers into Euro-style games. Into worker placement, resource management style board games, because a lot of muggles can be kind of apprehensive about playing, you know, hardcore board games that aren't, you know, like Monopoly or Scrabble or things of that nature. Still waiting for a board game stream. I actually have some of the framework in place to put some board game pages up on my website, and I need to go through and do that. Yeah, that one. Menu Masters. That's the game. If you are looking for a good gateway board game, I think that one is great. It's very quick to learn, too, which is great. Is it that cheap? Wow, that is absurdly cheap. Yeah. Amazon has this for $13, apparently. This game is great. If you're looking for something, especially with, I think you could teach this to kids pretty easily. I think the age on the side says 8+, and I actually really liked the gameplay that it had. It is absurdly cheap for a board game. Oh, I could have done this, huh? No, I don't think so. I think I'm supposed to dig here. I don't know. I guess they get to kill my Nahiri now. Have I looked at Keyforge? Yeah, I demo Keyforge at Gen Con, and the distribution model for Keyforge is just stupid. I don't know a better way to put it without, and I've talked about it past specifics and been constructive about it in the past, but I really don't like the distribution model for Keyforge. I think it's absurd. I think it's trying to be neat for the sake of being neat and not for the sake of being useful. Oh yeah, that's true. I actually heard someone talking about having that issue, fake board games, basically, like not official copies that other people were putting out. Peace, Marlin. Have a good one. Like, they copy all the materials of an actual board game, but then the components are like really cheap and low quality. So they look real, but they break, or like the cards rip and stuff like that very quickly. All right. I mean, if they don't have a way to stop this from happening, they're just gonna die, right? I guess they could theoretically kill us in response here too. What's the distribution model for Keyforge? So Keyforge isn't a deck building game. It's a card game where every booster pack is a unique deck, and there's like 23 million unique combinations for decks that you could get out of booster packs, and basically you never, it's just like double bolt put us to 2. Okay, so their out is draw land. No, they could just like have a land, right? They could just like draw another bolt here. They keep a red source and they draw another bolt. Yeah, and the reason why I think it's a collectible deck game. Yeah, and I think their distribution model is awful for 2 reasons. One, I think it's bad for competitive play because you have people talk about TCGs being pay to win on single cards. Basically, that game is going to be pay to win in terms of in terms of decks in general. So, like, could you imagine, like, a deck wins a big tournament? So now, instead of a deck wins a big tournament, so now you'll have people advertising, this deck is 92% the tournament-winning deck, and it's only $400, etc. And, it's bad for casual play, because let's say I like playing Keyforge, and I want to, like, play Keyforge with my kid or my friends or someone. I can't go to the store and buy 2 Keyforge decks and know that these Keyforge decks are well balanced against each other, because there's no guarantee. They're not tested. They're computer generated. So while they could be balanced, I don't have a reasonable way to know that. And it seems like while the distribution system that they're using and like every deck is unique is a really novel idea, it feels novel for the sake of being novel and not for the sake of being interesting, or not for the sake of being useful or a meaningful advancement. Sorry, and for those just coming in, we were talking about Richard Garfield's new game Keyforge is being distributed by Fantasy Flight Games, and the gameplay was really good, but the distribution model is just a huge turnoff. Like I said, if you're looking for other new card games to poke into, my top recommendation after demoing a bunch of stuff at Gen Con would be the new Warhammer card game. It's out in paper now, and it'll be out on digital before the end of the year. I think they said they're going to be in open beta next month. Like EA loot crates. So, it's not really sealed deck, because every booster pack is a completed deck. Like, you open this booster pack, and it's a deck that you can't change, and you play every card in the booster pack that you open. It's weird. Like I said, it's a neat idea. It sounds really novel, but it sounds like it's trying to be novel for the sake of being novel. But there's no deck building, Tefri. There's no deck building. All you do is play with these things that you open, and you can't change them. Yeah, the back of every card in every deck is unique and has a unique name on it. You cannot move cards between decks. They've removed the deck building portion from a card game. Zanman, howdy from Texas AM. Love the content. Keep casting monkeys and flooping pigs. Thanks for the 2 months. Thanks for re-upping and welcome back. Like I said, it sounds really interesting. It sounds neat and novel, and not for the sake of being useful. All right, so I guess we just keep discarding this Goblin Nabob, right? It's strange. I don't know that it's, yeah, and like I said, it sounds to me like it was designed with the idea of trying to remove people that complain about net decks and mirror matches, because you'll statistically never play a mirror in that game, because there's so many different deck combinations in it. So like the chances of getting an exact mirror are absurdly low. Cast Goryo's Vengeance target Squee. Yeah, exactly. I think it sounds like a bad model for competitive play, and it sounds bad for casual, because I can't know that my decks are balanced against each other. So I don't know who they're trying to appeal to. Maybe people that don't really think about things. Start by doing this. They're trying to appeal to whales. I mean, every game is trying to appeal to whales, right? So do I want to exile Courser, or do I want to keep sending this? I think I want to just keep sending the elevator up here, right? I think I want to just keep sending the elevator up, because like we need an Emrakul to win this game, right? But I mean, Chubbs, you could build a Magic deck for free. there's no guarantee it will be good. It probably won't be good, but there's also no guarantee that your Keyforge deck will be good the way they're generated. Like, your Magic deck is only... Magic can be an extremely cheap hobby. Competitive Magic isn't a cheap hobby, but just playing Magic, that's a cheap hobby. I played Magic for a decade on, dollars a month, very little as a child, basically, before I got into competitive Magic. And competitive Magic is certainly a luxury hobby that's expensive to play. I will never tell you otherwise on that. So here's the thing, though, and this is like, little Jimmy can buy a Keyforge deck, and he'll never know if his opponent is crushing him because his opponent is better at Keyforge, or because his opponent just happened to open a better deck than he did. Which is so weird to me. So weird. I guess I'm Thoughtseizing here. We're actually in kind of a bad spot here, right? Because they're gonna Teferi, downtick, tuck my Nahiri, and then they're going to attack Sarkhan for 4. I guess I shouldn't have discarded my 3rd Sarkhan. I got ahead of myself there. Gibicus with the 3-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. I could have put Obzedat into play here, but I don't think that's good enough. Honestly, maybe I should have just held the Thoughtseize. Maybe I should have just held the Thoughtseize to... I should have held the Thoughtseize to do that next turn, potentially, or if I draw an Emrakul. Drawing Emrakul is not even going to be good enough at this point, though, right? And, like, this is why people ask about the Through the Breach archetype a lot of the time. This game is kind of a good example of why, like, the blue-red Breach deck consistently felt really bad to me. This is a combo deck that when we finally put our combo together, we don't actually guarantee win the game. Like, we could combo them here and it not be enough and then lose after. Spoo, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think I'm going to shuffle this away after. It's 2 months. Our relationship has lasted longer than some modern metas. Thank you, Ecstasy, and welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, discarding this 3rd Sarkhan was a pretty big mistake. I wasn't thinking far enough ahead. I guess I get to put Ghostad into play here. I do have these Squee Goblin Naboobies. Is this game a good example of why a Prison Transformational sideboard is good in this deck? Are you saying our deck is so bad that we should try and cheese a free win post-board? Jackson with the 6-month resubscription, I appreciate that. Welcome back. I would believe you that this deck is so bad we need to try and cheese a free win post-board. But I think the better answer would be to just, like, play a bunch of good cards instead of, like, trying to board into a deck hoping to cheese out a free win. I did see that, Waffle. It was really funny. And, like, Ensnaring Bridge is, like, okay in Modern, but I feel like a lot of people default mentally to thinking that Ensnaring Bridge is hard to kill, when in reality, Ensnaring Bridge is not hard to kill for most decks. The only reason Ensnaring Bridge feels hard to kill is because so many of us have been conditioned to think, well, Ensnaring Bridge goes in Lantern Control, and Lantern Control makes everything miserable, right? Like, it's not Ensnaring Bridge's fault exclusively that Lantern is miserable. There's a lot of moving pieces that all go together in interlockingness to make Lantern a miserable experience. It's all my fault. Basically, Zach owes everybody that plays Modern an apology. Have you ever felt like you owe the community something, Zach? Because you should. Okay, so I feel like calling out Bridge as being miserable is, like, super unfair. Like, this is a format full of, like, mono-miserable things, right? Like, anybody who thinks Bridge is, like, this exception to being miserable in Modern, I question if they've ever actually played Modern. Like, this is the format where, like, Tron exists. There's a lot of misery to be had in this format. Yeah, Bridge feels better than turn 3 card. Feels better than turn 4 Ugin. You know? I agree. I think Blood Moon is far worse than Ensnaring Bridge. Again, I feel like people just have these feelings about Ensnaring Bridge that are biased by the fact that it's largely been played in Lantern Control. Sarah Sentinel, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. And you know what, Mr. Polite? Some people genuinely believe that. You ever watched Grand Prix coverage? You ever seen someone casting a Grand Prix genuinely and honestly, non-sarcastically say the words, Blood Moon keeps greedy mana bases in check? Because I kid you not, I've heard that said non-sarcastically on Modern coverage. Oh, this card is legendary. A number of times. I've heard that said so many times on coverage in a genuine manner. And these people are just, you know, they're just repeating things they heard on Magic coverage. It's not really their fault. They're not experienced. They don't really know better. Do I critique lists? Yeah, I play lists on stream and then provide feedback afterwards. And to be fair, again, I think like this is something that I say a lot on stream. Modern's a format that's hard to assess, you know? You even have, you know, great players like Mike Sigrist post articles talking about how Green Sun for Dryad Arbor would be too good in this format. And like, Sigrist is like certainly a better Magic player than I am, but like, that's just, its statement is so absurd to me, the things that happen in this format, to imply that Green Sun for Dryad Arbor is like more obnoxious or unfair than anything else that goes on. Could Matter Reshaper be considered a good mid-range card? Details on how my donation decks work are here. Yeah, Prime after going back to school this semester, so I gave my 70. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Hope your school year is off to a good start. So, to be fair, Green Sun for the thing is better than Land War Elves to set the bar low. It's got some flexibility. I'm not saying Green Sun is not good. What I am saying is that in relation, in proportion to everything else that occurs in this format, it's not that unreasonable. Is this game 1? Does anybody remember? Is like, can we win this game? I guess we're gonna keep hanging out because we could draw like a Faithless Looting and like loot into an Emrakul and then like maybe get them. This is game 4. I would believe you. I feel like this has been going on for forever. You'd probably play 2 to 3 Green Suns in Rock. I mean, we don't have an objective way to measure if he's a better player or I'm a better player. I'd be willing to give the benefit of the doubt that Sigrist is a better Magic player than I am. I'm just gonna move along. I don't remember what game this is, but we're definitely not winning it. Are we sideboarded? We're not sideboarded yet. Alright. Trim these Thoughtseizes. Damnation seems good here. Bloodghast seems medium. Actually, Tormenting Voice is pretty bad against counterspells, right? Maybe these Thoughtseizes are fine. Balunga, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that, and welcome back. So I talked about this in my unbanning article before the ban list update, Magic Sausage Cat, but I think it's okay to ban cards in Modern for more than just power level. And I think leaving a critical mass of cantrips banned in general is good for Modern as a format. I think one of the reasons why I personally, and this is subjective, don't enjoy Legacy is because the critical mass of cantrips make games dry. They make decks too consistent and remove variety from the gameplay. I think when every deck is a Xerox deck, the gameplay becomes worse on average. Please bump Blue Black Mill a little. Will do. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. As always, remember, anybody, if you cheer 100 bits or donate $1 or more, you can always bump a deck list that's currently in the queue. The people that support my content dictate what we play and when we play it. This is a viewer-focused stream here. Yeah, I think Ancient Stirrings and Faithless Looting should be banned, if not on power level, but for the same reason that Preordain and Ponder are not legal. Stoneforge turns Modern into something like standard for a ton of aggro decks. The Do You Have It question, it also provides a ton of consistency. What aggro decks? What aggro? Name me an aggressive deck in Modern that gives two shits about a turn 3 Batterskull. You've got 2 minutes before I time you out, Messi. Name me even one competitive aggro deck in Modern that gives two shits about a turn 3 Batterskull. I'm gonna work on that cares about turn 3 Batterskull. Goblins isn't a deck. 8-Whack isn't a deck. Humans does not care about Batterskull. Humans has Kitesail Freebooter and Reflector Mage and lots of other things that don't care about. Burn does not care about your Batterskull. Burn has Searing Blaze and Skullcracks, and you spent 4 mana to get that thing into play, and you didn't attack with it till turn 4. Burn has you dead on turn 4 very consistently. Modern is such a blisteringly fast format that it just doesn't care. It can't care. Affinity doesn't care about a Batterskull. Affinity flies right over a Batterskull and can kill you for tons of damage very consistently. Sweet. You get to floop this little pig into play next turn. Blue-red tempo has 12 Doomblades to kill a Stoneforge Mystic. Well, that's sad. I guess I get to kill this with anger now, but I'm going to lose my Obzedat here, which is sad. Serum Visions is okay, because anybody who's ever cast a Serum Visions before knows how terrible that magic card is. Serum Visions is an acceptable power level because it's bad. Yep, you're not wrong, Me Gaming. I've been doing this a long time. Had this conversation a lot. When people talk about it making aggro decks unplayable, my question is always, have you played Modern? Because I've played a lot of Modern, and I'm not familiar with these aggro decks that Stoneforge Mystic supposedly makes unplayable. Wow, has Stream Decker really not been updated? No, Stream Decker's updated. Stream Decker on mobile is broken, so Stream Decker doesn't work on mobile. Alright, so I want to lead on this because it gives me the most chances to find an Emrakul here. Looking for an Emrakul. Very good scene. I guess I do this. Looking for an Emrakul. Well, still not looking good for our hero here, chat. I guess I'm gonna Thoughtseize them. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the land there. Yeah, I could see maybe keeping the land. Baneslayer, Angel, Elspeth. All right, well, we'll take Elspeth. It is comical to me that you think Hallowed One, Burn, Vengevine, that those decks care about Batterskull. I'm just not gonna interact with you. In fact, let's just get you out of here permanently. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of the cards that those decks play and why those decks are good if you think they care about Batterskull. Humans has Kitesail, Freebooter, Meddling Mage, and Reflector Mage. That was a good one. At the end of the day, the reason why Stoneforge Mystic is banned in Modern is because people are terrified of change, and people includes Wizards of the Coast. That's why it's not legal. That's why it's not legal. And like all those things I just listed don't even begin to touch on the fact that like Abrade and Culligan's commands are cards that exist in Modern. Doesn't even get close to mentioning those things. Humans also has a lot of flying, that is correct. Look at that, we finally did it. Alright, this little piggy's gonna go wee, 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 all the way home. Don't click on Squee. Yes, yes, and Modern, again, Modern is a, like, people talk about, well, you can't just say a dice to Doomblade and it automatically be okay. Modern is effectively a turn 2.5 format. Modern is a format where you better be killing your opponent consistently by the third turn of the game, or you need to be efficiently interacting with them by that same turn. It is, you have to interact or kill them, or you're not going to do well. Are you going to the store, Jacob?
Yeah, Daddy.
Okay, have fun.
The store, Daddy.
Love you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Daddy, where's the keys? Daddy, where's the keys?
Yeah, most matches of Modern, you need to either be killing them or interacting with them. And Stoneforge Mystic is no different. In fact, Stoneforge Mystic is less punishing than a lot of the things that exist in Modern, because even if you can't interact with Stoneforge Mystic on 2, you get more opportunities to kill the Batterskull past that. So it has more interaction points than a lot of decks in Modern. Looking at all and the last comment on the Stoneforge Mystic topic is just that the same idiots that tell me now that Stoneforge Mystic is too good for Modern, these are a lot of the same people that assured me Jace the Mind Sculptor and Bloodbraid Elf were going to be too good for Modern, and we all know how wrong those people ended up being. So can we just, like, maybe can we admit to ourselves that Modern's a unique format that functions differently than a lot of other formats previously in Magic's history, and maybe because of this, we need to assess cards differently in this format? I think Humans is now as good as Twin was. Humans is approaching the same percentage of the format that Twin was when it was banned. People thought Ancestral Vision... People thought Sword of the Meek was too good for this format. Every time we've unbanned anything in this format, there have been living, breathing human beings that were like, no, you can't do it, Hogland. It's too good. It's too good. You can't do it. You're gonna ruin Modern. Oh, it's just so good. They really... I would like the record to reflect that Golgari Grave Troll was not too good for Modern. Prized Amalgam, Cathartic Reunion, and Insolent Neonate made Golgari Grave Troll too good for Modern. There are a lot of... Golgari Grave Troll was unbanned for a while before they actually made Dredge a problem. And Dredge became a problem because of Amalgam and Reunion and Neonate. Yeah. So the issue wasn't explicitly Grave Troll. It was the other things we added in the wake of Grave Troll. Ancestral Visions killed Modern. It really did. And that, help me remember my history here. Grave Troll is the only card we've ever unbanned and then rebanned, right? Right? Is that the only card we've ever unbanned and then rebanned in Modern? That's correct, right? I'm pretty certain about that, but I wanted some extra validation. Okay. I feel like blue-black fairies will go down in Magic history as, like, the deck that no amount of Modern unbannings could save. Do I have a list of cards in the Modern balance that should really stay banned? I don't have that published anywhere, but basically it's just, like, all the super degenerate ones. Did I say black-white? I meant blue-black. Bitter Blossom was banned, yep. Like, Blue-Black Fairies got, like, Bitter Blossom back, and it got Ancestral Visions, we tried Jace the Mind Sculptor, it's gotten Fatal Pushes and Cast Downs, like... Wild Nakatl was banned, yeah. And that's the biggest thing, chat. We need to, like, if you ever think the Modern ban list is there for, what round is this? We're in match 4? We're in match 4. Probably the last match. It doesn't look like we're winning. It doesn't look like it doesn't look good for our hero, Anoronics. Whenever people tell me things are on the ban list for a reason, I'm like, yeah, that reason is they were too good in Standard. That, for people that don't know your history, the reason why Stoneforge Mystic is banned in Modern, it's literally banned in this format because it was too good in Standard. Keeping Stoneforge Mystic being banned in Modern is like if they banned Smuggler's Copter and Reflector Mage in this format, and Aetherworks Marvel. It's like if they automatically banned everything in Modern that was banned in Standard. Was Summer Bloom a good ban? Yes, I think everything that nerfs super degenerate decks is worth having. Yeah, and like, when you put it in that kind of context, I really feel like it shows just, like, how absurd that card not being legal is. Amulet with Summer Bloom is super degenerate. Okay? It's super degenerate. Are we just dead here? Rampaging Frostodon, yep. To be fair, Summer Bloom was super busted if your name was Steven Speck. Is he legal again soon? I feel like he's got to be legal again soon, right? And, like, even if we hit something here, like the Nissa's ulting next turn. Yeah, it's the guy who was palming sevens, basically. Alright, And this is something that probably won't surprise a lot of people. In my experience, when I get sent a deck list that has a mana base as bad as the mana base was when we opened this deck up to start today, the rest of the deck tends to leave a bit to be desired as well. This thing was kind of a hot mess. Emrakul with Squee Goblin Nabob is really awkward anti-synergy. This deck doesn't really have a backup plan for when your opponent has graveyard hate. We don't have interaction that, like, plays to the board when your opponents play creatures out. This was just kind of like a fluke all around for me. Just, like, wasn't really impressed. We won a couple of games because we, like, attacked people with Emrakul on turn 3, but when we weren't doing that, we didn't really have a plan to be doing anything else. So this is not one that felt very good or consistent. Wannabe Beetle. Spec's ban was up in April, but I decided he was done with the game. God bless. Hopefully